Hello. I hope you're having a good week. I have taken the week off and I feel like I've got a glow about me. It's been really nice to have a little bit of me time. It's been really busy at the studio. So I've done a lot of, watching Netflix and a bunch of nothing, but I've done some brainstorming, and while I was doing that, I was employing one of my fun go-to clarification tools and thought, I need to share this. I initially found this activity, and it was called The 5 Whys in a book called Game Storming, when I was developing a team building workshop for a nonprofit. And initially, the 5 Whys was to help solve problems, come up with solutions to a problem. But as I was doing more of the team building workshops, I would tweak that tool into what I use it for today, and I call it a why pry. Like I'm prying into the why, kind of like a kid does when they're asking you why and you give them an answer and they go, well, why? And then you answer again and, well, why? And as an adult, you just kind of end with, because I said so, or just that's how it is. When doing this activity, you may hit that wall, but just push through it and really, really cool things will happen. So how I use it with the dual-handed journaling method that I have touched upon in the last few videos, where, okay, let's break this down. Say I'm wanting to manifest something, like, I don't know, it could be anything. And the further I dig down into it, I realize it more often than not isn't the thing that I want. It's the experience or the feeling that I want the thing to provide me. Like, say somebody wants a new red Outback, Subaru Outback, and you have this vision, and maybe you don't get it. But if you take the time and get down to the core of it, maybe you realize that it's not necessarily that you really want the red Subaru Outback. I want a green one, by the way. That maybe it's that you want security that a new car provides you. You don't have that anxiety about maybe the car breaks down on a road trip. Or the feeling of freedom, or just the idea that that particular model of car represents. And so getting really clear on really why you want the thing, you may find that somewhere within your environment, you can already create that experience or feeling in a much simpler way than shelling out $400,000 or $40,000 to get a car. Okay, so let's move on to the activity. As with every journaling activity, I always recommend that you start with the dual-handed creative warm-up activity to get both of your hands working. I do a lot of hand movements, overlapping, kind of getting both hemispheres of my brain working together. It's called bilateral. I'm going to have to look it up. It's been employed since the 50s in the psychology field. Anyway, after you get yourself warmed up, you write down what it is that you're wanting to manifest, or what it is you're wanting to experience, and then ask why. and then you let your non-dominant hand answer. And if you want to try it both ways so you can get an idea of how different the answers are with your regular hand as opposed to your non-dominant hand, I would highly recommend that, because more often than not, the answer is very different and much simpler. Anyway, so you ask why and let your non-dominant hand answer that why. And then you ask again, why, to that answer, and then answer it again. And do it a third time. And usually by this point, the adult's coming out like, because I said so, this is stupid. Try to break through that and continue this why and answering the why as many times as you can until you feel this like, yes, that is it. And once you get to the core of the why it is that you want, the thing that you want, you'll probably find that, you know, if it's a lofty thing you want, like, I want to help people in this really grand way, maybe it boils down to, I don't want to live in a world where there isn't empathy and compassion in my everyday experience. Or I don't want to live in a world that's, you know, being trashed. But it comes down to the personal experience instead of this lofty and tangible goal of like, I want to help people out there. It gets boiled down to, you know, what you want to experience with this experience or feeling that you want to have or do. So once you get down to the core, you'll want to ask the question with your dominant hand, well, what can I do right now? Or what is in my environment right now that can offer me these feelings or this experience that I have distilled down? And then let your non-dominant hand answer. And you'll likely want to continue the dialogue beyond that question, because once you get access to this sort of hidden part that the non-dominant hand accesses, I generally don't want to just be like, well, thanks for the answer, bye. I want to, like, I've got access, so I want to continue the conversation for a while. So I hope that you like this. It's been a really amazing tool for me, and I use it for all sorts of stuff, light things and big changes. But yeah, it can just be something that you use on an everyday thing, like, why do I want to take off work early? Why do I want to take a week off of work? Or why, you know, why anything? Why do I want cupcakes for dinner instead of something that would be healthy for me to eat? It's just a really good tool. And when you get adept at this process, it may become a lot easier for you to just do it mentally. But I recommend trying it out, writing in your journal with both hands, ideally. So I hope you'll have a good weekend.